The new trend in sewing today with these industrial sized sewing machines, such as this one right here, this cylinder arm, as you can tell, I'm changing out the pulley on it, or that one right there, which I already did change out the pulley on it, okay, to reduce the speed and increase the torque, because I make these bags right there, these duffel bags. Um, so so the question is how do you do this? How do you find the right pulley for these machines? Well, the answer is really simple. First of all, you determine what do you want to do. Now, we talked earlier about going to a 45 millimeter pulley on the motor, but you want to increase the size of this pulley. This already got this disconnected and loose, so let's talk about it. Okay, pull this off. Okay, this here is a 4-inch diameter, or 4-inch diameter pulley. Okay, so I want to go to a 6-inch diameter pulley. I just did that on the floor. So what do I do? Okay, so I went online and I looked up a 6-inch pulley. Okay, right here. And so when you buy now that you know you want a 6-inch pulley, now you got to determine what is the bore size right here. This bore size right there. Well, now you got to determine the shaft size. How do you determine the shaft size? Okay. And if you don't have a set of dialed a set of these dial calipers, or a drill press, to where if you can't find the exact bore size you need, then you could go undersize it and then drill it out to this shaft size here. Okay? But if you don't have a drill press, you don't have a set of calipers, but yet you want to change it out, how do you know to get a proper pulley for this shaft? Well, you could use really simple tools and a really simple technique. And this is how you do it. Okay? Everyone owns a set of these. Okay? These crescent wrenches. Okay? And all you do is you take your crescent wrench and you fit it on your machine, and then you just tighten it. Okay? Just clamp down on it with your thumb where it's tight. Then you take it off your shaft. When you do this, put your finger inside these two, in between the two right there, in between the two, and put your fingers in the jaws to keep them separated. Okay, because when you tighten it, because when you measured it, it was tight. Okay, this jaw here will move about a 1/16 of an inch one way or another. So you want to get a good accurate reading just to start off with. And then you measure it, okay? And then we're looking, it's already pre-measured, okay? I'm not going to hold it there. But anyway, it comes out to close to 11/16, okay? So to verify this and to work with this, you need to use open-end wrenches. Okay, everybody has a set of open-end wrenches in their homes. So since the measurement came out to 11/16 roughly with the jaws, you take it. I got 11/16 wrench right here. And it probably won't focus, but anyway, it says 11/16 on it, and you put it on the shaft. Okay, and you try to. You see that gap right there? Okay. And you see how much of a gap there is. Right there. Okay, that's too big. Okay, to make up for. Okay, so if it's that, so if you measured it and this, you know, and you measured it and it says 11/16 roughly by the tape measure. Okay, then you know that the standard measurement might not work. So what we're going to do is let's go to metric. Okay, so let's try a 16mm wrench. So we put a 16mm wrench on. It's too small. Okay. So now let's go to a 17mm wrench. Okay. Now 17mm wrench is pretty darn close. See, there's not that much of a gap. Okay. See that? Now this is doable. So we know that 17mm is pretty close, but we want to get it closer. So what you do is if you want so what you do to work up to a bore size that is close to 17mm, you get yourself some shims from Amazon. Okay, these leaf shims. They'll come in, as you can see right here, there's 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and 5,000 of an, okay? And you cut yourself a piece off just to work with. Now you can cut these with scissors. I highly recommend using your best fabric shears that you got, your fabric scissors, so you get a nice clean cut. Only kidding. But then you want to do is round out this your shim. Be careful because they're like working with laser blades, and just lay it on top of your shaft just like that. Okay. Then I'll take my 17mm wrench and I will just come over the top of this just like so and push down. Now that's a pretty tight fit, okay? So 17mm will work. Okay? If you can't find a 17mm bore pulley, then you could go to your 11/16 inch wrench, and let me pull this up. Okay, and then you could see how that works with 11/16 inch. Okay, then you work with 11/16. And that's fairly tight. There's still a little bit of play. But if I would double up this shim, put another 5,000 shim in there, it will tighten up to 11/16. So what you could do is go online, see what bore size is available, and then, you could say, well, I could shim up to a certain size. I could shim up to whatever which size your shaft is. Let's say you need to shim up to 3/4 inch. Okay, then you could shim it up to 3/4 inch. Now this one over there this one was easy because that was exactly a 1/2 inch shaft that I was working with, and they made a pulley for a 1/2 inch shaft, so I didn't have to shim it. I didn't have to do anything to it. Just took off the old pulley and put the new one on. Okay. This one right here is a little bit of an odd size. So the closest thing I could get to where I needed to work with, I forgot what size pulley I got for this, but I couldn't find the exact same shaft size, even by using these dial calipers. Okay. And so what I had to do was get one that was close enough to this as possible, that was just a little bit undersized, and I will have to end up drilling this out, okay, to a 17 millimeter, because I have a drill press. If not, I could have bought one that was a little bit bigger, and then use shims on it. But at the time, I didn't have shims. So if you're going to go to the thing of ordering a pulley, and if you do the method I taught you on how to find the shaft size, and you can't find one that, say, you did a preliminary check and it's 11/16, you know. So what you want to do is order the shims. You could even go to Napa or an auto parts store, and they will have shims available. Okay. Just for because you need to because people need to shim out stuff on automobiles, so they'll have shims there, or you could buy these shims probably at Home Depot, any store like that. But that's how you do it. So you could shim up, but that's what I'm going to do though. I'm just going to drill this out to a 17 millimeter. And because I could buy a specialized drill for this, for the exact same shaft size that I need, but that drill, being that it's going to be a specialty drill, is going to cost me $50-$60 just to do one drill hole. Where I could buy a 17 millimeter drill, which is a common size, and probably spend about $2 or $3 for it. So that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I don't want to have to buy a specialty drill just for one shaft size, just to drill one hole. Okay. Simple to me is easier. Simple to me is the best. So, but that's how you do it. The crescent wrench, some wrenches, and some shims, and you could determine what size bore you need for your sewing machine shaft. Again, people, this is a sewing machine. Your shaft is not going to spin 32,000 RPMs, okay? Like a jet engine does. It could be a little off-centered, just a hair. It ain't going to matter. Matter of fact, you really wouldn't need to shim it. You wouldn't even notice it. But being that this is a do-it-yourself, I want to show you the best option there is, and the most, and how far you would go to get a perfect fit. Would I bother with a shim? Yeah, because I got the shims. If I didn't have the shims and I went with 17 millimeter, I wouldn't worry about it. I would just tighten that set screw against this and run the sewing machine that way, and you wouldn't even know the difference of it being off, a millimeter or two off center. So there you have it.